The Smartboard lesson that I have chosen to review a little bit more in depth is called Fractions. And the teacher created it for second and third grade students as an introductory basic lesson in beginning to learn about fractions. And one of the reasons that I chose this one to review a little bit more in depth is because I love, and you'll see in a little bit, how involved it is in the reviews that it has, and it really gets the students up on the board and doing it themselves, which is great. On the first page, or the second slide, I actually like that she's asked the question, what will we learn? And she's put it down here, and she's put the core content, what are they going to learn? And that's a great way just to let the students know what to expect, let them know what they're supposed to be looking for. Alright, the third slide is parts of a fraction, which I like that the teacher put it at the beginning because there's no point in going on if they don't even know what the parts are and what they're called. So as you can see, it has the numerator as the top number and the denominator as the fourth. And it gives you the definition of each, which is very nice. The fourth slide, we've already come to a review, and it's a review about denominators and the numerators. And so this one says, what is the denominator of the fraction 3/4? And so the student, she could call student to come to the board, and then you click 4, and we see that it's right. And then click next. What is the numerator of this fraction? 2/6. So then it would keep going. So already we have a little quiz. And this is nice. You can call different students up to the board, and they can give their answers. On the fifth slide, we have another review. And this one, you see that we have pies here with different fractions, and then when we slide down to the bottom, we can see the actual number fractions. And the goal of this review is to match them up. And this is great because it lets the students see the actual number fractions corresponding with the pi fractions. And so this is a great way just to see that there's different ways you can write them. There's different ways that you can show a fraction. This one is fractions as a part of a set. And as you can see, this is using pictures to show a fraction. So this could be something maybe if the teacher's at the board and the students are at their desk, she can say, draw 6 squares and color 1/2 of them. And you know that they would color 3 of those 6. So this slide is not as interactive, but there's a lot of potential. There's a lot of activities that she could have the students do using this slide. The 7th slide is a review from that 6th one, and in this one you would call them up themselves and they would actually color in the shapes that the fractions are telling them to. So for the first one, you have 3/6. So you could call a student up, have them click a pin. I'm going to do the creative pin, and I would color 3/6, 2/3, and so on and so forth. And another thing that I thought maybe that I would add to this slide, if I was ever to use it, would be maybe to introduce simplifying fractions. So you could tell them that this 3/6 is the very same as 1/2. So that's just another introductory lesson that you can incorporate into a lot of these slides actually. This slide is all about whole numbers, which is important because a lot of students don't realize that a whole number can still be written as a fraction. Obviously we see that she has 6/6, 2/2, 8/8. And so that's a great way to show that those numbers simply mean 1. And next we have another review, and this is a good one. In our earlier review, we had showing the number fractions with the pi fractions, and this is great. This shows the number fractions with the word fractions. So it's another good way to see different ways that you can write it. You can only do it with numbers or pies. You can also do it with words. So you would call a student up and say, match 2/3 with 2/3, 2/6 with 2/6. And the last slide I really enjoy. This is Want More Fraction Fun. And when you click on these, it says click on the 4/5 to play an identifying fractions game. This actually takes you out of the Smartboard lesson and to a website with games about fractions. And the other one does the same thing. This game is going to take you to one that's all about fractions as a part of the sets. Like we said earlier about the coloring in the right amount. So, the lesson that I chose, as I said, is all about introducing fractions to 2nd and 3rd graders. And the only thing that I would add, if I had to, would be maybe a slide, like I said, about simplifying fractions. Other than that, this lesson was very well. It had the teaching, the introducing, and then it had a review right after that, which I thought was really nice and really allows the students to get involved. So I hope you enjoyed my review of this Smart Notebook lesson.